Hello, and welcome to the Lighthouse Brand Builders podcast. I'm Peter Wilkin, and I'm here to help you build differentiated, enduring brands and thriving businesses. It's not really a podcast. It's more a series of strategic insights, stories, and secrets of success from a lifetime's career in advertising, brand consulting, and change management. The thread that binds them is brand-centered management, the trademark brand building process and philosophy I developed with my partners at the brand company over 20 years ago, that's since been embraced by thousands of brand professionals and some of the world's most iconic brands. The 4Ds process and brand DNAs have become well known in brand strategy circles. The focus here is practical advice you can apply straight away to your business. It gives you a glimpse inside the Lighthouse Brand Strategy Academy, our online coaching program, where we aim to democratize effective brand strategy. So come with me, take a step inside the virtual lighthouse. Welcome.
If we take a broader view of creative culture in general.
There is so much talk now about the culture of organizations. It's now becoming much more familiar language when we're developing brand experiences in totality. And culture is like one of the most complex areas because you can walk into an environment and you can tell instantly whether it's a kind of hive of buzzing excitement or, the converse, it's kind of completely dead, flat, negative or whatever. And you can sense within an instant creating those environments or changing those environments may be much, much more difficult or frankly, quite easy. We know what it's like when a new leader kind of comes in and walks in with a completely different attitude into a dark basement, oppressive type atmosphere and then can kind of come in like a Gandalf with a glowing beacon that lights up the entire room in a second and the instant is changed. I mean, it does not necessarily take years and years to build up a culture. On the other hand, it can take years and years and centuries to establish traditions that become ingrained and woven into the fabric of your culture as well. So it's a very difficult topic to grasp culture and, particularly creative culture. But, I stumbled across this great article in an attempt to simplify it for everybody else. And this was from an article in the Harvard Business Review by Goffey and Jones. And it was titled Creating the Best Workplaces on Earth. And they identified 6 virtues, which completely resonated with me because I confess 2 or 3 of these I had been espousing myself, but they articulate it in a beautifully simple way. And the first one is, you're in an environment or a culture where you can truly be yourself, where you don't have to pretend or falsify type or try and be something that you're not. You can genuinely be who you are. You can only really tell whether you're in an environment like that or not if you know yourself, that you feel comfortable. And at the heart of it, this is the right place for you. You feel you are the true person you are. The kind of second key thought was that you're told by your bosses, by your seniors or whoever it is who's got responsibility for leading or managing the company, the truth of what's really going on. It's not hidden. But when you really ask and inquire, you're given honest, candid answers. Even if that at the time of being told it was sincere, that's fine. It may turn out that it's a false premise or what have you. But at the time, that sincerity and is absolutely truthful and honest. So you're told the truth of what's really going on. An environment too, where your strengths are magnified. We haven't quite talked, or have we covered a little bit of talk about the whole brain thinking? That clearly identifies thinking preferences. And if you are somebody who's got organizational, procedural, control skills, you're into attention to detail, then, if your strengths are magnified in the role in which you're playing within your organization, you're going to feel much more comfortable in that culture. If on the other hand, your strengths are in the opposite way, of accepting a degree of calculated risk, thinking outside the box, not following an agenda, challenging conventional wisdom and rules, that's going to be a very different way of playing to your core strengths. And there's often space for very different thinking preferences within the same organization, but the role in which you're playing within that culture of your department, division, or organization, or wherever you are, if you're an entrepreneur or a small business owner, you're playing to your strengths. You're working in fields that are of interest to you, that are passionate, and that you're making a difference. It helps and increasingly so, if the company stands for something meaningful, and that means meaningful to you. And increasingly, and I'm pleased to say, this purpose-driven organizations is becoming part again of an interrogation filter that certainly the younger generation, when they're looking for employment, are questioning. Now, not everyone can be so worthy, but you can do it in a meaningful way. It doesn't have to be, change the world noble. Another kind of key thought or virtue of your dream company is that your work is rewarding, or you find it rewarding. You're not wasting your time. It's not something that you don't personally feel is valuable. And, even though all of us have to do some menial work, I call it kind of shit shoveling, you should be doing more than the majority of your time with work that's fulfilling for you. And the last one is the one that I always put first for me, and I've expressed in different ways, but it's the most important, I think, which is stupid rules just don't exist in an idyllic, a dream company. And so many organizations, especially the large established organizations, there are just blindingly stupid rules that everyone can see, but nobody appears to be able to change because the systems are so deeply ingrained. And those are the things that drive me crazy. And, and you basically circumvent, ignore, or break in order to make progress. And unfortunately, that is the case. And more often than not, you cannot do it within deeply entrenched organizations. What you do is you create other organizations. It's a bit like Rebel Spaceship, find a planet and inhabit and do something completely different that proves to be more successful and eventually changes the old universe or makes the old universe obsolete, which is more often the case, frankly. So that was it. 6 virtues of a dream company. You can be yourself. You're told what's really going on. Your strengths are magnified. The organization stands for something meaningful to the world and most importantly to you. You find your daily work is rewarding on the whole. And most of all, there are no stupid rules. Thank you for listening to the Lighthouse Brand Builders podcast. If you found this helpful and want to know more, please visit my website at peterwilkin.com. That's Wilkin with an E at the end. You'll find more free resources, instructional videos, and links there. If you're a CEO or a business owner looking to build your brand, or a brand strategist looking to level up your skills, check out the CBO Masterclass in the Lighthouse Brand Strategy Academy, where you'll be guided through a comprehensive, stepwise process to develop your unique brand DNA and learn the skills to become a certified Chief Brand Officer. If you have any brand or strategy related questions you'd like answered, you can ask them in the showcase notes below. I'll do my best to address them. Thank you and see